Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of Brad Cook Stuff. So, this week I was kind of at a loss of what to make. I have a lot of things in my apartment, but I wasn't sure how to use them or supplement them until I asked my mother, and she came up with an idea that I think will be a perfect dish for the week. So, this week we are making Polish chorizo and mozzarella wraps. Anyway, let's take a look at the ingredients and see what we're working with. Here are the ingredients for tonight's dish. We have some Polish chorizo. That's right, chorizo made in Poland. I have some amancho peppers, some amai togarashi. I've got a handful of small wraps, some mozzarella cheese, and finally, most of a tomato that I used for a sandwich earlier today. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let's get these vegetables cut up first. So I've got this tomato. I used a little bit of this earlier today for a sandwich. We're not going to need a whole lot of it. I'm going to cut about half of what I've got left here. Right. And we will chop this up into smaller pieces. There we go. Toss those into the bowl here. The other thing we'll do is chop up some of these amancho peppers. We're going to just do all of these today. All right, we're not going to use all of these today, but I think we're going to use a lot of them. All right, I've got some tomatoes and some amancho. Let's go ahead and move on to our cheese. We're going to cut some of this mozzarella cheese to put in our wraps. There we go. Just in a few pieces here. There we are. Go. The rest of this I'll eat later. And finally, take a couple of these spicy sausages. Just cut them in half. This is probably the easiest part of the whole thing. All right, let's get the wrap started. Before I use these wraps, I'm going to go ahead and heat this pan up, and then I can put the wrap in and kind of dry fry it. All right. I'm going to slap this in here for a little while. Flip it over. All right, let's get a second one. All right, I think that'll be enough. Let's put this together. First, a couple of pieces of sausage here. Next, a couple of pieces of cheese. And we're going to go ahead and microwave this. All right, that's nice and melty. Let's add some tomatoes and a mancho. There we go. All right. All right, we're going to wrap this up and eat. All right, moment of truth. I have here a flour tortilla with Polish chorizo and some mozzarella cheese with sliced tomato and amancho pepper. All right, so we're going to wrap this up here. This is going to be kind of messy. Let's give it a try and see how it tastes. That's not bad, but I'm going to need another bite. It's a little bit messy here. But this is really, really nice. The cheese is prominent and is delicious because, you know, who doesn't love mozzarella? But the vegetables are also front and center. The sausage is almost an afterthought because of all of the other stuff that I've got on here. I'm going to need another bite. So this came about because I had no idea what I was going to make this week. And a pile of ingredients, and I just couldn't think of how to put them together. And my mother came through and suggested that I do a wrap. And that's exactly what I made. And the whole thing ended up being really pretty good. I mean, fresh vegetables and spicy sausage with cheese on a flour tortilla to pull it all together. Yeah, man, that's really nice. All right, I think I'm gonna eat one more bite here. Was this difficult to make? Not at all. I dry fried a couple of tortillas, I chopped up a few vegetables, and I really just mostly microwaved everything after that. But in the end, I think that what I've got is a pretty nice little dish here. It's got vegetables and meat and cheese. So the whole thing tastes delicious. I didn't even add any seasoning to it. The whole thing's pretty good. Can I make this again? Well, yeah, I mean, I actually have plenty of tortillas left and a ton of the sausage. Vegetables are pretty easy to buy, so I can have this anytime I like. I got a one bite left of this one and a whole one back there that I'm gonna go ahead and eat once I finish the video. But as always, I appreciate you guys stopping in, and we'll see you in the next video.